Hello, I am Xuyleczine Larwuns. I'm 17 years old and I am a pupil of Greenpoint Secondary School. I'm also a photographer from the Khanya Center, situated in Buffalo Flats, East London. My journey started on the 9th of August in 2025 on Women's Day, when I came across Uncle Gavin. I was quite shy, scared, quiet, and I didn't want to speak to that many people that day. But Uncle Mark ushered me towards him to try and speak to him. And when I got a little bit of insight on Uncle Gavin's story, that's when I realized the importance of photography and journalism.
My name is Gavin Sylvester. I'm 62 years old. I grew up in Parkside.
Mm.
And from Parkside, I moved to Pefferville. And from Pefferville, we moved to Buffalo Flats, Coast Town. And then I went to school at John Berziger. Before that, I was at St. John's Primary School. And then when John Berziger was built,
Mm.
I think that was in 1978.
Mm.
Then we moved over to John Berziger High School. And then I completed my matric there.
Mm.
And then in 1982, when I finished my matric, the next year I went to work at Daily Dispatch as an apprentice.
Mm.
And then I done my apprenticeship there, finished it at Daily Dispatch. And then I qualified as a compositor.
As a photographer, the main thing that we focus on is visuals, angles, what we can see that's in front of us. But after speaking to Uncle Gavin, the question popped up into my mind: what is life like with no sight?
And then when I got to Kimberley eventually, about 21 years ago, I worked for a company, but it was mostly clubs, nightclubs.
Mm.
I think Mark knows that place, Squeeze Us. And that's why I got hurt.
Mm.
I was in an altercation with one of the patrons. And he had a fight with the bouncers. But I stood in for a bouncer that specific night.
Mm.
And this guy had a fight on with the bouncers. He went to go fetch a gun. And he shot at me. I was very lucky. I think it was the hand of God that saved me, because this was point blank.
Point blank?
It was point blank. I could actually look into this guy's, I actually looked in this guy's eyes. Like I said, it was point blank. But I turned my face, not me, God. Turned my face and a bullet went to here, because he aimed right between my eyes. But I turned my head, God, that was all God's doing. And the bullet went through, and went right through on the side of my face, and then it took my eyesight away.
Everyone inside the yard is a SASSA grant a person. Each and every house you see inside the yard, the beneficiary, which is the owner, pays SASSA, get paid SASSA grant because they are disabled. You will never be able to stay inside here if you don't. Without the doctor's approval.
Oh. You know, the one day you could see, the next day you're blind.
Mm.
I was rushed to Kimberley Hospital and then done an emergency operation because they had to remove the one eye. This eye they had to. This eye was removed, the eyeball actually, because it shattered the eyeball. The missile penetrated and it took out the eyeball. So they had to do an emergency surgery. I laid in hospital for 4 days. Went back, but I stayed in a hotel, a lot of stairs, Kimby Night Hotel. But there, because I knew the hotel, I could go by and help myself.
Uncle Gavin's struggles were deeper than I expected. Having to lose his sight, he had to rely not on anyone but himself to be able to use his remaining senses to feel the world, hear the world around him.
You know, just to get by, just to go to the shop, for example. I have to call one of the children. I bought the ice machine, credit, and then because I worked in a business environment. I was in a business environment because I stayed with the people that had businesses, you see. So that inspired me, and that, you know, brought up this business ideas. So I bought an ice machine, and then I had a deep freeze. It was a profitable business. It was quite profitable, but I got disappointed again. There's a deep freeze. And now it's got a gas problem. But then I had to, and the people around here didn't support me. If I had the necessary funding, I mean to buy a bigger ice machine, a bucky, I mean that would have set me up without me needing grant money from the government. If I only had that funding. You see, I stayed in Kimberley for about, I'm only back in East London now, 11 years. But before that, look, I'm 21 years, I'm blind now. So I stayed in Kimberley, and because I stayed free, because the boss of the place actually looked after me, and my washing was done, ironed, I had a room. I was provided for, you see.
The way and the manner in which he had to navigate life without sight made me realize the amount of things that people like myself take for granted. Because even something as simple as going to the tap to fetch water for him was a massive risk. And even with going to the tap, that's about a 1-minute walk away, he was still robbed. And people took advantage of his situation to take things from him without him knowing.
You know, the other challenge is when you don't have money, people don't take you around. Even a child, if you don't have a 1 rand to give that child won't go. Don't go to the shop for you.
Oh.
Won't. I must first have that one rand for that child to go to the shop. Can't blame them because of this area. Mother don't work, is unemployed,
Mm.
father is unemployed. It's mostly social issue around here.
Mm.
And I have to keep my gate locked all the time. One day I left my gate. I just I didn't I didn't lock it. I just closed it. I went to the tap to go get water. My phone was on charge. When I came back, I noticed my gate wasn't the way I left it. And I went straight to where my phone was charging was gone.
People are struggling to go to the toilet even. And listen, there's only 2 taps there. You know how many people are saying here?
All the people in this
If you're doing a
compound
washing or if you want water, maybe you washing blankets, whatever, we have to make a queue here just to get water.
I like this couch.
Mm.
I lay on this couch all day. Make myself some tea, sleep. I mean, people I use go around. They can't even read.
Mm.
So sometimes I get someone to go just browse on a computer. Then that person tell me this and this and that.
Mm.
But I got a website where at Khanya Center, Mr. Frey helps me a lot with that, and I appreciate it. Very thankful for that.
Mm.
Very grateful. And but most of the time, most weekdays, I would like to be productive because I used to like, just to walk. I got blind at a very late age, a late stage, you see, of my life.
Mm.
I was 42. But I was in Joburg, I was in Kimberley, so that made me, that experience of those places made me well aware of what type of persons I'm dealing with, you see.
I hope this story reaches the right people, such as community leaders or the government, so that at least they can intervene to make a change for people like Gavin. Even if this documentary is finished, even if one person watches it and they decide to make a change, then this documentary meant something. And I hope that change is a start to something bigger. Thank you for watching and listening to Uncle Gavin's story.